The Forgotten Patient. In the misty hills of Murray, where pine trees whisper ancient secrets, there stood a place the locals never spoke of at night: the Government Hill Hospital. Once a place of healing, now a decaying shell buried in silence. Dr. Jack, a young medical intern with an appetite for the unknown, had always laughed off ghost stories. Tall, confident, and logical, he believed every mystery had a rational answer. Grace, his close friend, was the opposite: gentle, spiritual, and deeply intuitive. She didn't chase the paranormal, it often found her. They had come to Murray for a peaceful weekend. But peace ended the moment a tea stall owner told them, "No one goes near that hospital. Not since the fire. Something stayed behind." Jack smirked. "A haunted hospital? That's straight out of a movie." But Grace didn't laugh. Her eyes lingered on the fog-covered hill in the distance. That night, Jack turned to her, flashlight in hand. "Come with me. Let's see if ghosts are real." Grace hesitated, but followed. Not for the thrill, but because something told her he shouldn't go alone. The hospital loomed before them like a corpse refusing to decay. Rusted gates creaked open without force. The wind carried a strange hum, like distant humming or breathing. Inside, the air was thick and damp. Broken tiles crunched under their feet. Wheelchairs lined the walls as if still waiting for patients who never returned. Faded posters about polio vaccines flapped in the cold air. Dr. Jack shined his flashlight down a pitch-dark corridor. Just old architecture. But even he noticed, their footsteps didn't echo right star. Grace stopped. "Something's watching us." Jack shrugged it off, though his grip on the torch tightened. They passed old operation rooms with scorched doors, burnt charts still clinging to the walls. A hospital stretcher stood in the middle of the hall, untouched by time, as if waiting. And then they heard it, a soft thump from above. Not an animal, not the wind. It sounded like footsteps. Jack turned to Grace. She didn't say a word. Her eyes were fixed on something only she could feel. Something had awakened. Deeper into the hospital, the darkness grew heavier, almost physical. The halls twisted like a maze. Some doors were sealed shut with chains. Others opened into rooms filled with rusted surgical tools and moldy walls. Then they saw it, a corridor that wasn't on the hospital's floor plan. It was narrower, colder, and completely untouched by time. At the end stood a steel door labeled Ward 8. Grace's voice trembled. "This ward wasn't on the map," Jack replied. "Maybe it was sealed after the fire." But the door creaked open at their touch, as if it had been waiting for them. Inside, beds were perfectly arranged. Clean, sheets white, machines unplugged but humming faintly. A wall clock ticked, yet had no batteries. Jack moved toward the nearest bed, where a patient file lay open. Patient 302. Admitted. 12th October 1999. Discharged. Every bed had the same file. Same number. Patient 302 over and over, Jack whispered. "This doesn't make sense." Grace placed her hand on one of the beds and gasped. "It's warm." The air turned icy. A breeze rushed through the closed windows. Jack turned quickly. He had heard something. A breath. Not theirs. Not human. They were not alone. At the end of the ward fluttered slightly, without wind. Then came the voice. Soft. Raspy. Doctor. I've been waiting. Grace clutched her necklace tightly, her lips moving in silent prayer. Jack, still trying to rationalize, stepped forward. "Who's there?" No answer. Suddenly, the lights above them began to flicker. The hum of machines grew louder, though none were plugged in. The curtain moved again, and behind it stood a tall figure, dressed in a tattered hospital gown. No face, no eyes, just a blank, pale shape where a face should be. Jack stumbled back. Grace stepped forward, almost drawn to it. "It's him." The ghost raised a hand and pointed toward a nearby wall. Blood-red words began to appear, one letter at a time. Finish my treatment. The doors slammed shut behind them. Glass cracked. Every bed in the ward shuddered violently. Jack grabbed Grace. "We need to get out. Now!" But when they turned to leave, the hallway was gone. Only darkness remained. And the ghost was They ran, past the shuddering beds, past the echoing moans that filled the ward. Dr. Jack and Grace bolted down the corridor, only to find themselves back where they started. Ward 8. Again. 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 Every hallway looped back like the building was folding around them. Are we going in circles? Jack asked, panting. No, Grace whispered. We're trapped inside something that doesn't want us to leave. Then they noticed something. The walls were changing. Medical posters faded into bloodied handprints. Mirrors cracked on their own. Time on Jack's watch glitched, jumping to 3:02 a.m. The same time as the patient's number. Patient 302. The same time he died, they reached a staircase. But when they stepped onto it, the floor vanished beneath them for a second. Jack nearly fell before Grace pulled him back. And on the wall, fresh red writing appeared as if drawn by invisible hands. Finish my treatment or join me. The building wasn't just haunted. It was alive, and it had chosen them. Hours, or what felt like hours, passed before they stumbled out through a broken side door into the cold dawn. Their faces pale, clothes damp from sweat and fear, they collapsed outside the compound. Then they saw him, an old man sitting on a stool, eyes hidden behind cloudy glasses. You went inside, he said before they could speak. Jack nodded. The man sighed. Most don't come back. He was the last watchman before the fire, and he remembered everything. Patient 302, Jack said. Who was he? The man took out an old photo from his coat pocket. A teenage boy. Thin, pale, hooked to machines. The director's only son. Sick with something we couldn't name. One night, a power cut hit, and a fire broke out in the upper wards. The staff ran. So did I. But he was left locked inside. Grace's voice cracked. No funeral? The man shook his head. They never found the body. His eyes turned to the horizon. And now he waits for someone to finish what the hospital never did. Jack clenched his fists. What does he want from us? The watchman said softly. Closure. But how do you give peace to someone who died in pain, alone, and forgotten? Weeks passed. Dr. Jack returned to his city apartment, back to his small private clinic. But peace didn't return with him. Every night, exactly at 3:02 a.m. something stirred. At first, it was minor. The hallway light would flicker, even when switched off. Patient files would fall from the shelf without wind. The old wall clock would stop ticking, only to restart at 3:02. But then came the footsteps. Soft, wet, dragging across the tiled floor. Always from the waiting area. Always ending right outside his office door. Jack tried sleeping with the lights on. He burned incense. He whispered prayers he didn't believe in. One night, as he checked the clinic cameras, he saw it. A figure, sitting on the waiting room bench. No face. Same hospital gown. Hands resting quietly on its lap. Staring straight at the camera, as if waiting for its number to be called. Grace visited often. She brought holy water, recited verses, lit candles. But even she knew, the spirit wasn't attached to the place. It was attached to them. To Jack.